Holding a 3-day-old infant while recovering from a painful delivery should elicit comfort from a parent. Instead, my own mother stared directly into my eyes and ordered me to pack my bags because she claimed the house belonged to her true family. I did not weep or scream because a secret plan was already in motion. They honestly believed I was entirely helpless against their cruelty. The beautiful house we occupied represented years of hard work, financial sacrifice, and endless overtime shifts. I earned every single brick of that property through independent dedication before marrying my husband Brandon. He had to leave for an urgent international business assignment just 2 days after our daughter arrived. We hated the terrible timing, but we needed the income for our future. My family always viewed my success with a strange mixture of jealousy and resentment. They assumed that my achievements should automatically benefit them without any personal effort on their part. When Brandon kissed us goodbye and promised to return quickly, I felt confident that I could manage alone for a few weeks. That confidence completely vanished when a vehicle pulled into my driveway later that evening. My mother, Beatrice, entered through the front door carrying 2 massive suitcases without even calling ahead to ask permission. She announced that she was staying to help me recover from childbirth and care for the newborn. Although the intrusion surprised me, I managed a polite smile because the physical exhaustion was starting to overwhelm my body. I mistakenly thought her presence might actually provide some genuine comfort. The situation deteriorated rapidly the next afternoon when my older sister Clara arrived with her husband Gregory and their 2 loud children. Beatrice assured me they were only visiting for a brief dinner, but that single meal quickly stretched into days. Within 48 hours, my quiet sanctuary transformed into absolute chaos as the constant noise disrupted the sleep schedule of my vulnerable infant. My organized kitchen was completely rearranged, and toys were scattered across every single room without my consent. Whenever I gently requested a little quiet so my daughter could rest, my mother simply laughed and dismissed my concerns. She stated that family members do not require permission to make themselves comfortable. I realized then that my personal boundaries meant absolutely nothing to the people who raised me. During dinner on the 3rd night, Beatrice made a stunning announcement to the entire table while smiling coldly at me. She declared that her entire household was officially moving into my property the very next morning. Clara agreed immediately and remarked that the space was much larger than their current home. I scanned the room for a single look of sympathy, but found only greed. I woke up early to the harsh sound of heavy furniture scraping against the beautiful hardwood floors downstairs. My body still ached terribly from delivery, but I forced myself to walk down the steps to investigate. I found Gregory moving my favorite reading chair out to the dark garage under the explicit direction of Beatrice. She casually told me to stop acting so dramatic about minor adjustments. That specific phrase became the standard response to every single objection I raised over the next 24 hours. When Clara threw away the fresh meals I prepared, or when the children woke my crying baby, they called me dramatic. My home was being systematically erased as family photographs were replaced, and the guest room filled with foreign clothes. I felt like an invisible ghost in my own house. After spending an hour rocking my exhausted daughter to sleep, I finally walked into the living room to confront them. I calmly informed everyone that it was time for them to pack their things and return to their own homes. Beatrice leaned back in my chair, folded her arms, and delivered the ultimatum to leave if I did not like their lifestyle. Nobody spoke up to defend me. I carried my sleeping daughter upstairs without uttering another word and securely locked the bedroom door behind us. The distant noise from the living room faded into a dull murmur as I held my child close. I promised her that our peace would be protected no matter what happened. Instead of shedding tears, I opened the small fireproof lockbox hidden deep inside my closet Most individuals use such boxes for expensive jewelry, but I stored paperwork that possessed far greater value. Inside lay the legal deed, the mortgage agreement, and the insurance policies for the property. Every single document bore only one name, which was my own. I remembered the exact words of my attorney, who warned me years ago that even family members could change under the influence of greed. I reached for my mobile device and executed 3 separate phone calls with absolute precision and calm. The first conversation lasted under 3 minutes, while the final individual assured me that the entire matter would be resolved the following morning. Downstairs, I could hear Clara excitedly planning to convert my private home office into a playroom for her children. They truly believed they had already secured my property. I carefully placed a folder containing certified copies of the deed into my overnight bag alongside my personal items. There was no room for panic or anger, because preparation was the ultimate weapon against their entitlement. Before extinguishing the bedroom light, I looked at my daughter and smiled for the first time in days. My family expected to finalize their takeover, but tomorrow would bring a massive shock. The front doorbell rang precisely at 9 o'clock the next morning, causing Beatrice to yell for Clara to answer it. Clara opened the door with supreme confidence, but her smile instantly vanished when she saw the crowd outside. Standing on the porch was my real estate attorney, a professional locksmith, 2 home security representatives, and a moving service supervisor holding a clipboard. They requested to speak directly with the true owner. I walked down the grand staircase holding my infant daughter in one arm and the legal folder in the other. My mother stood up so violently that her hot coffee spilled across the dining table as she demanded an explanation. My attorney calmly placed the certified deeds on the table and explained that I held sole ownership. He stated that no other individual possessed residency rights without my explicit permission. Gregory tried to argue that they had permission to stay, but my attorney politely noted that the permission was officially withdrawn. The heavy silence in the room was deafening as the locksmith began replacing every single exterior lock. The security team immediately updated the digital codes and entry settings, while the moving supervisor asked if they should begin packing the personal belongings of the visitors. I gave the order to proceed. Beatrice watched in utter disbelief as the workers packed the suitcases and toys that had arrived just days prior. She whispered that I had planned this entire trap from the beginning. I looked into her eyes without any anger and replied that I merely protected what I worked hard to build for my little family. They had no choice but to exit the premises permanently. The house felt beautifully serene after their departure, and I could finally hear the soft breathing of my baby. I spent the afternoon securing the property and storing the documents back in their safe place. When Brandon returned from his overseas trip a week later, I shared the entire experience with him. He held us closely and assured me that I merely protected the family we built together. Over the following months, Beatrice attempted to contact me several times to mend the broken relationship. I was not cruel, but I insisted that our communication could only continue if she respected my boundaries. Protecting my sanctuary was never about mere brick and mortar, but about ensuring a safe environment for my child. True love never requires you to sacrifice your dignity or your personal security for family.